This is my desk chair that I use every single day for work and playing video games or editing videos like this. It's 3 years old. It's time for something new. And this is my brand new desk chair that FlexiSpot was nice enough to send me. Stay tuned for the how-to on building this and a review of how the chair actually functions and how good it is compared to my old chair. And here it is. In this box is one of the best desk chairs that you can buy today. We're gonna go ahead and build it and review it in this. This box is pretty heavy. It's 48 pounds. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this down. We're gonna open it up, see what's inside, build it, and see if it really is the best desk chair that you can buy for your desk. All right, here it is on the floor. We're gonna go ahead and open this up. Got my handy dandy knife here. I'm gonna slice this thing open. So as I said, this box is like 48 pounds. So it is pretty heavy. So just be careful when you're picking it up. If you need 2 people or anything like that, just go ahead and use that because you don't need to throw your back out with how heavy it is. Go ahead and be safe and put that away. Immediately, we're going to get instructions. So we're just going to put that here. The box of all the tools, and it does come with the wrench for you to use. So great that they include that. If you have your own or a drill, obviously you can use that. Might make the process a little bit faster. The desk chair feet. In this blue, we got one arm. In the white, we got another arm. Hopefully those weren't color coded for what side they needed to be on because I did not pay attention to that in the instructions. Throw that to the side. We got the headrest. We got the back with another headrest of the piece or a neck rest. And then probably the heaviest piece is the seat because it's got all the metal and stuff on the bottom. I can already tell how quality this chair is going to be just by the weight of it. And what is this? I have to look in the instructions what this is because I thought I already had the headrest and the neck rest, so we're going to have to double check, see what piece this is. 2 metal poles that I'm going to wait to unwrap. The back piece for the chair itself. And the under part, I'm going to unwrap this on the side because it's wrapped up pretty tight, but this is going to go underneath. It's got all your controls and everything like that. All right, so we got everything out of the packaging. There were a couple of extra things in the back of the seat and backrest, so make sure you grab those out of there. They're just in boxes, real easy to take out. There were some other things in there, like the feet, another stand, and then one other piece, this like the hydraulic piece for the seat itself. So make sure you grab those. I got my instructions right here. We're going to go ahead and get building. I'm going to explain a little bit as we go, but mostly just kind of fast forward, skip ahead, so you guys get a general picture of how to build it. So the first step is taking the P5 screws. And one extra thing, the screws come in this little thing, so if you can get the back off without, moving around, it's going to be a lot easier to organize all your pieces and stuff and just kind of set them to the side. Grab one when you need it. If you dump on the floor, you dump on the floor, but, that's kind of how I do it. First step is to grab your centerpiece and then your 5 or 6 feet, 5 feet, and we're going to put this together. And for the sake of time and energy, because I'm already sweating, I did grab my drill. Make this a little bit easier. All right, and the 5 feet are on nice and sturdy. These things aren't wiggling around at all, so that's really good. And the second step is to now put the wheels onto each of these holes. So that's going to be very simple. All you have to do is line these up and shove them into the hole. All right, and all 5 wheels are on. Some of them are going to take a little bit of pushing on there, but all in all, pretty easy to get the wheels and legs onto the bottom of the base. And then for the third step, we're going to attach the back of the backrest onto itself. That's going to take 4 screws here. So we're going to go ahead and lay this down just like that. Make sure we get our lining up. So I was wrong. This other part is not an actual neck rest. It's actually a lower backrest. And this is actually really nice. It kind of just clicks into place. So super easy to get it in. All right, we got all 4 of those in. That is nice and sturdy. And then just going back to the wheels part, I skipped this step accidentally, but this part just goes and plops right into there, nice and easy. So that's going to be your hydraulic piece. All right, so the next thing we're doing is the seat. We're going to be adding the bottom pieces right here, which is going to then attach to the leg rest. So let's go ahead and get that in. You just grab the 4 screws, kind of drop those in. They'll fall into place on top of the other piece. and then just screw it on down. All right, and then make sure that these pieces are aligned. There's a little kind of curvature on these pieces, the G pieces here. So those will align with the holes, and you can kind of align it that way. Make sure you don't put it the opposite way, otherwise they're not going to face the right direction. You'll notice that right away. I did make that mistake, so that's on me, but take it from me and learn from my mistakes so you don't have to and waste your time doing that part twice. Then we're going to take our two metal poles here and insert them which direction. And then side note on this, you got to take these two little screws out. We're going to insert those later to lock it back in. Screw end through just like that. So we can then put our seat piece on, I'm guessing. And then this piece is going to be next, and it slides on just like that. And then these screw pieces that we just took out are going to easily just go into this little slot. All right, then after those two quick screws go out, you have your leg rest, which slides nice and easy. Don't hit your finger like I just did, and then you can go and fold all the way back. Next steps is going to be the armrest. Again, make sure you get the armrest going in the right direction. So just make sure to plan that out properly. All right, and there you go. You got your arms on there. Make a note that they do say right and left on the bottom of each arm. So don't make the mistake like I did of putting them on the wrong side. So again, learn from my mistakes. And you won't sweat to death like I am putting this chair together. All right, and then next is the hefty metal boy that goes on the bottom, which is going to be all your seat adjustments. You can see on the bottom here that it does have predetermined spots where the screws can go in. So that's going to be nice and easy. And just plop your screw in there. Make sure you got it oriented the right way. I'm going to learn from my last two mistakes. And then go ahead and just drill it in. All right, that bad boy's on. Really easy, just 4 screws. All right, now this next step, which I can only imagine is going to be a pain in the butt for one person, is getting the back onto this. Okay, so hopefully I'm still in frame, but there are slots. It just sits right on there. So if you can do this one-handed, you can grab your screws, and it sits just perfectly right on there. Alrighty, and there you go. The back is on. It's looking more like a chair. All right, and then one of the final steps is just putting the top onto the base itself and then putting the headrest, and we're just gonna go ahead and do that. All right, fits right on there, nice and easy. And then the headrest, hopefully still in frame, just goes ahead and slides right over this. Pop that down, and there you go. Voila, new chair. And I'll give you the review in a second. So right off the bat, you can see that this is a very well bolstered chair for your lumbar support and has a really nice head and neck rest that does go up and down. All you have to do is pull that like that. Some really nice armrests that go up and down very smoothly, and then they also slide backwards and forward. So depending upon where you want your elbows and arms positioned, you can pretty much get that any way you want. And then one of the coolest features about this chair is this leg rest that then can slide underneath the chair itself. All you do is pull it out, bring it up like that, and that is extremely sturdy. Sitting in the chair, I can put my full weight on this, be able to sit. It is a little bit harder to lean back when you have your feet up like this, but you're kind of just sitting there typing, whatever you want. I don't know how much I'm going to use the leg rest. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see if I can figure out like the best way to use it. But then to do it back, all you have to do is flip it down like that and then push it straight underneath there. So really good reclining. Like I said, it is hard to recline when the feet rest are out because you don't really have anything to push against. But when it isn't, you get really far reclining. It is extremely comfortable. The bolstering for your lumbar support is fantastic. These things are pretty cushiony. They're not hard plastic or anything on the top, you know, just your normal armchair cushions. Like I said, backwards and forward movement, and then extremely easy moving up and down to get your preference of where you want those to sit, whether you're typing, you know, playing a video game or anything like that. Then the headrest, super easy to adjust even when you're in the chair. All you have to do is move it up and down, and then your lumbar support does move like that, does move when you are sitting on the chair as well. So it is kind of adjusting to your back and then how far back you're leaning back, always pushing in and giving you really good support for your lower back for those long work days where you're just kind of sitting in the chair. So I really love this. It was fairly simple to build, as you saw before. Don't make the mistakes that I made, you know, switching up the armrests left and right. But you can get this on their website. I'll leave a link down below. You guys can check it out, or you can buy it on Amazon. So I'll have links to both of those. They have some really good stuff along with standing desks as well. I'll leave my standing desk review over here, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.